us, Jay. This is my not organisation of not charging my phone turning into I'll just drive around to charge my phone, basically.
Okay.
So I can do it at the same time. So that's that, as I just told you, literally before we start recording. How are you?
Tired. Tired, knackered, but I've got a week off now, so.
Sweet. Oh, I don't feel quite as bad then. That's sick, man. That's sick. So did it come out? Did Gotham Knights come out last night?
It came out midnight Thursday, Friday, whatever you want to call it. Midnight
you had
Thursday.
yesterday off as well? Did you?
Huh?
Did you have yesterday off as well?
No, I was still working yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oh! I found the Starbucks.
Oh, he's found
right
it.
past it.
He's found
Brand
it.
new Starbucks.
Didn't even
I
know.
see.
I don't leave
Okay.
my house, so I don't. Honestly, I couldn't tell you where most things are in Norwich.
I'm near the
honestly.
brick makers. You know, the brick makers.
Well, there's more than one technically.
True, but you know what I mean by the brick makers.
Yeah, I
right?
do. B2, right?
Yeah, B2.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Now I know where you are.
Alright, mate. Yeah, just gonna go around the roundabout now. Okay, mate. Sorry for being so late again. I think the people deserve to know how late I am all the time.
No, it's fine. I can't imagine this will last more than 2 hours.
I don't think so.
like last week's bloody what we got like almost 2 hours, didn't we? We had loads to talk about.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't think it'll be quite as much, but to be fair, my plan is to get the Starbucks, go home, and hopefully it's still charged enough that I can start walking around the field again, frankly. So, if not, I'll just drive around Norwich, I guess. So yeah, I am about to go for the drive-through, by the way, so I reckon we just keep this on the recording, because it'll be quite funny.
That will be quite funny. This will be just us.
You're about to hear my coffee order, Jay.
No, I'm interested. I'm actually genuinely interested. Because I can't drink caffeine, so I don't have a coffee order.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's a queue of like 5 cars. I'm part of this queue, so I'm as much of a dickhead as these people, but I do kind of have an excuse. But anyway.
You don't.
So
Oh yeah,
go
that's
on.
fine. No, it wasn't that interesting.
No, go on, please.
No, it was just that you know about TGF. I've spoken to you about them before, haven't I?
As in the restaurant?
No, as TGF, as in the YouTubers. One's from Birmingham.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they tend to do a lot of Starbucks videos, just because that's like popular on YouTube, I guess. And so you like
try new stuff, or
yeah, I don't know. They do all sorts of weird challenges to do with Starbucks and McDonald's and a bunch of other stuff. But it's just I don't know. You just reminded me like that camera angle right now is just reminding me of one of their videos.
Do you know what I've just thought, Joe? What I could have actually done was bring my laptop and just record it in Starbucks, to be fair, but I didn't have the forethought of that.
Yeah, that would have been odd. That would have been very odd.
I find those sorts of challenges, like, you know, like people do record while they're going through the drive-through or recording in the restaurant or whatever. I think it's a bit weird, isn't it? For like, are they allowed to? Do you know what I mean?
They actually make it quite fun. They sort of get the people who work there involved.
Right.
They make it a bit of a bantery type situation, so I think most of the time I think it's fine. They tend not to go inside. They just sort of, you know, the drive. I think if it's just a drive-through, it's not too bad. So if it was inside, it'd be different, I think.
Yeah, fair. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, fine. They've got some Halloween stuff. They've got like a pumpkin spice cookie, and I'm starting to worry that all the hot drinks are out because all the cars are moving pretty fucking quickly. Kettle chips as well, apparently. So I'm now about to take my order, Jay, so bear with.
Okay.
Oh, no. Do you listen to the new Blink single?
Yeah, it's got quite a funny name, isn't it?
Edging, yeah.
Edging, yeah, we spoke about it before, yeah, okay. That's funny.
Hi, yeah, can I just get a grande latte? Yep. And I will have a grande decaf pumpkin spice latte with soy milk.
Medium.
Sorry?
What? Sorry, I missed the middle bit there. Medium what pumpkin spice?
Decaf.
Oh, decaf.
Grande pumpkin spice latte with soy milk, please.
Do you want with cream that comes with it?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah, medium decaf pumpkin spice with oat milk, no, with cream, and a normal medium latte, yeah?
Soy milk, sorry.
On the
In the
Pumpkin spice.
yeah.
Yep, 1 second. So, a soy milk decaf, medium pumpkin spice, yeah?
Correct.
And a normal latte, yeah?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thanks. It doesn't usually go as bad as that.
To be honest, it's never a good. No one can ever order anything like, you know, without there being a level of like awkwardness or. It has to be,
I
you
just
know.
embrace it now, Jay.
You
Like,
you
I am
killed
the
it,
no pickles.
dude. You killed it. I feel like that for you was fairly like business, very like you were just like getting your stuff done, you know. The fact that you went correct, I thought that was the funniest shit. Because in that situation, I'd have been like, yeah, sure. I would have been like super like friendly, bubbly, kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever you say. But you were like correct.
Absolutely.
You were like deadpan, correct.
Correct, yeah. Thank you.
What is this man doing?
Perfect, yep, that's all gone through for you. There's your latte.
Thank you.
That was so quick.
So quick. Thank you very much. You too.
You know what pisses me off?
Man.
You look very like well put together right now. You look like you've just had a haircut and you've shaved recently to make it all look sharp.
So
you
you're
look like
making me sound like I'm posed.
You genuinely look like you're about to go to a wedding or something.
Look, I'm not put together. I was like 20 minutes late to the call.
Well, you look good. You look good.
Thanks,
regardless.
man, I appreciate that. I mean, you always look good, so I've got to keep
I
up
look
with
like
that, you know
I look like Dave Grohl if he from the 90s if he didn't try. You know?
With super long hair.
Yeah, I guess so.
Super long hair. Alright, Jay, well, should we crack on?
We shall. Where do you want to start? Because I've got like literally like 4 or 5 things to talk about, so.
Okay, well, I'll start with me then, because I've already got like 2 things to talk about, if that's okay with you.
Go for it.
Okay, so very quickly, Costume Quest, I spoke to you about this briefly a couple of times we recorded, maybe it was last recording.
Maybe.
So basically, the long and short of it is, I downloaded the Costume Quest 2 because I think it was either on offer or originally it was the Games with Gold, like
yeah, it was Games with Gold.
Like
I think it might have even come back to Games with Gold recently. Like it was on there twice.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on there twice.
I think you might be right. So I played Costume Quest 2 on the Xbox One and thought it was great. And then I got the first game on offer, I think, because I think it was during that period of where I sold my Xbox but hadn't bought the new Series X. So I was just playing old stuff, right? So I played the first one, and like basically I got to what I didn't realise was literally the end. And I just thought, I've had enough of this. So I jumped back in because it was Halloween, and it's a Halloween-themed game. And I jumped back in, and I was like, oh, do you know what? I've just fucking forgotten which fucking coffee's which. Fuck's sake. There's things the label on there. Anyway, so I jumped back in, and I was like, oh, I'm literally at the end. So I finished the game. The boss took me a couple of tries, actually. But I finished the game. I've mopped up all the achievements, and then I played the DLC. I bought the DLC for like $3.50 because I was like, well, that's a cup of coffee, so I'll just get it. You know, like, oh, can you imagine, Jay, the Double Fine who make the game? They're just looking at the bills and they go, someone bought Costume Quest 1 DLC last week. Do you know? I just think that's funny.
That is kind of funny. You're probably like one of maybe like 4 people.
Exactly, if that, right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
okay, that's funny.
Yeah. So jumped into the DLC, finished that as well. Unfortunately, a achievement did glitch on me in the DLC, but I'm not bothered enough to replay it or anything. So it is what it is, and that's it, mate. I think from me, I am playing quite a few other games sporadically, which would piss you off greatly. But until I finish any of them, I don't want to discuss them too much. Unless you want me to, I'm more than happy to. But yeah. It's one of those, really.
You know, if it's in progress, it's in progress. It's up to you, really.
Well, what No, it's cool. I'm nearly done with one of them, so I think it's good. But that's it from me, bro. So why don't we? You've got a big week, so why don't we crack on with what's been going on with you?
I'll actually start with the lesser and work my way up, I think.
Yeah, sure.
So, I was playing a game a minute ago. There's a new mobile game that I've been waiting to come out called Marvel Snap. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Have you seen it advertised?
Yeah,
It's like a Marvel card-based game where it's a little bit like Hearthstone, honestly, in that you sort of like gain energy one at a time each round. There's 6 rounds. And then you have, different cards that cost between 1 and 6 energy, and they have different level of power, essentially. And you have to win out of you can 3 lanes you can place your cards in, and each lane has like a thing that can happen. So if one lane says all cards in this lane have +1 power, all cards in this lane have a 25% of being destroyed. So it's like stuff like that. So you have to win 2 out of 3 of the lanes with the most power cards in those lanes, and you can only have 4 max in each slot, basically. And then the cards, when they come down, usually have some sort of like ability that interact with the board in some way, which is very, very fun. I've been having a lot of fun with that. The other cool thing about it is that the cards can have different artwork as their background.
Nice.
So you can get what's called the variant, like different artwork. So there's like pixel ones, there's like different comic book styles and stuff like that. And also, whenever you gain some sort of like in-game currency to upgrade the cards so that they can have more of a what's the word? Like the way the artwork interacts. So initially you get the common card, which is just the artwork. You can then upgrade it once to make it so that the artwork sort of like escapes the frame. It's called a frame break. So it sort of like comes outside of the frame, so it looks a bit more like poppy, I guess. You can upgrade it again to make it a 3D image, so it looks like if you move your phone, like the actual image on the card moves around, which I thought was quite cool. And then after that, you can get animated, which makes it move even more in like different ways. And I haven't gone beyond animated yet, so I don't know what's beyond it. So that'll be interesting to see how it looks, what a card looks like once it's out beyond epic or whatever. It's probably like legendary or something, Yeah, it's really fun.
Evolution of the
you can kind of
see card or whatever, so it goes out of bounds.
You can see what it looks like.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense actually.
Lots of animated things going on. I'm about to win actually, so let's see. I'll show you what happens when you win as well.
Do you play other players? Sorry.
You do, yeah. Actually, am I about to lose?
Can you play the computer as well?
I think it's just other people, honestly. Oh, hang on, am I about to win? And he won, lads! Look, I got 2 out of 3. Victory.
Nice.
So there's another feature where, because there's sort of like a rank system in the game, you can get these what are called cubes, I think, which are sort of like to determine what your rank is. And every 10 cubes that you get from a match, you rank up once. And you can also lose, but you have to basically bet the amount of cubes you want to either win or lose each match. So everyone starts off with betting 1. You can't bet 0. You have to bet 1. But you can bet up to 2, 4, and then 8 total. But most matches I tend to go with 8 anyway. So I either win big or lose. Oh, it's free, yeah, 100%. You can pay to get like in-game stuff, but it's not really worth it, really. So.
Is there the stuff that you can pay for? Is it pay to win? Or?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's more of like you can pay for like different variant backgrounds and like in-game currency, and that's it. But the currency only buys you upgrades if you have the. But the currency only buys you the currency to be able to upgrade, not actually to upgrade the card itself. There's another currency you have to play the game to get to be able to then upgrade it.
Well, that's kind of smart.
So there's no necessarily pay to win. I think the other thing you can pay for is a battle pass, but that might be slightly pay to win in that there's like cards in there that you can't get otherwise.
Right,
maybe.
and if they're really good, then
Yeah, they're not
sure.
bad.
Okay.
They're actually doing a symbiote event right now, so they've got like Venom and Carnage, and I think Mars Morales is in there as well.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's the first thing. I'm playing that at the minute.
Is it popular, Jay? Is there millions of people playing it, or?
I don't know. It's definitely not dead. I'll give it that. And I feel like that I've been following it for at least 6 months now, so I can't imagine that there's not a lot of people playing it. There's got to be a decent amount. I mean, Marvel's
And
Marvel.
when did it come out?
Like 4 days ago.
Okay, fair play.
Yeah, pretty recent. I'll talk about this one next. Need for Speed Unbound.
Please.
Have you seen? They released a 1.5-minute gameplay trailer the other day. Have you seen this? Probably not.
No, but I definitely should.
So I actually pre-ordered the game. Maybe a week ago.
Okay.
And then I know I was kind of like, well, this game has to be good, right? Because the last one was great. And from what I'd seen, I was like, oh, this must be good. I'll take a chance and I'll pre-order it. And then this gameplay trailer came out, and I was like, may have made a mistake, so I cancelled it.
Oh, I'm sick. You can cancel it.
Yeah, you can cancel it. Yeah. So I cancelled it. I was actually kind of like, oh, I'm kind of glad I did, because that money that I would have spent on that is now going to pay for probably like Dead Island 2 or Hogwarts Legacy. So.
Sick. Okay. I think Jay, you had a moment of weakness.
I did.
You have learned from your mistake and you've moved on. No, but that's cool. That's good that you.
But I'm glad I saw that gameplay trailer and was like, actually, I'm not too much of a fan of how this looks. It kind of looks a bit not that good in comparison.
So, describe the gameplay to me then. What? Because obviously that first trailer looks really good.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I think it was more of a mood thing. I think I will get it. It'll just be much later down the line. Like it'll have to be an on sale type thing, I think.
But like, what? Oh my God, there's a doe in the road. Shit.
Alright, be careful.
Jay, we're talking like full on doe, full on just cross the road.
Okay.
At like 8 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, that
was amazing.
You're living in their world, Nick.
You're a wise man, Jay.
Yeah.
Apologies, I keep interrupting you. So,
this is fine.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying this. This is like buddy podcast in the wild, you know. Literally.
I feel like
I've
elevated from the Adam Buxton field, you know.
Yeah.
We're going next level.
Next level, exactly.
I'm probably going to cut out, Jay, because I'm going down the bad signal road. So,
the bad signal road.
What was wrong with the trailer?
I don't necessarily think it was anything wrong. I think it was more just like I sort of realised what the kind of mindset I'd need to be in to appreciate it, and I don't think I would have been there at the time necessarily. I still would have been in Pokemon mode, I think, when it came out. So I didn't want to like spend the money early just so I could not play it, basically. So I think I've basically just reconsidered. If I do want to get it, I can again. It's just I feel like I've just made a bit of a I've made a bit of progression in that I haven't just. I haven't.
Oh no, I'm losing.
Yeah, you're right. I got you. You got you there. I haven't just I made a snap decision, but I learned from it to a degree. He's gone. Persona 5 Royal came out the same day as Gotham Knights, and I'm pissed because I want to play it as well.
Okay, yeah, it's on Game Pass, mate, so it'll be there.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking if I do get tired of Gotham Knights 5, 6, 7 days, I'll probably start playing Persona, I reckon.
Or if you finish it, yeah.
Well, no, I'll definitely finish it. I'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, that's the plan at least. I definitely want to finally get into it because I have it on PS5, but I have like the original version. I never really played it properly, so. But at least with Royal, it gives you all the DLC.
Persona 4 or?
Yeah, I played the fighting game. I played Persona 4 Arena.
Cool.
The fighting game was really fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. But man,
I didn't realise there was much. I didn't realise there was much DLC. To be fair, for
apparently there's 40 bits of DLC. Apparently.
I assume they're all like.
Yeah, majority of that is just like costumes, I think. But they label it as DLC because it is technically still downloadable content. So. I feel like there was a time, like from the
Got ya,
360 to
got
the
ya, got
One
ya, got ya.
era, where we used to think as costumes or like things you could buy like that as DLC, but then people stopped calling it DLC ages ago. I don't really know why. I think it's because when people think of DLC, they think, oh, like an extra like mission or like something like that. But I think people forget that like costumes.
What do you mean?
Because I remember like
What do
in
you
the
mean?
360 one days, I feel like they used to be you could buy costumes for games, but they weren't in game. Like you had to sort of like buy them separately on the store.
What are you saying?
Yeah, a lot of it you just sort of there's usually a store in the game for that kind of stuff, but there didn't used to be. Like you just had to sort of
Right.
buy it. I mean, there's still multiple Japanese games where you could buy costumes from the store, but
Right.
Right, shall I move on to my last main topic?
Yeah, sure, man.
So Gotham Knights came out yesterday. Yay!
Yeah.
2 years
Or is it
been
yay?
waiting.
We'll
It
find
kind of
out.
is a yay. It's kind of like a depending on how you look at it type of yay or nay, I guess. So the
Preface for the
game.
audience.
Oh, what? What's the preface?
So, if you don't mind me saying, Jay,
Please.
I think I'm within limits of saying this because I feel like we've known each other long enough. Jay, when he's playing the game, just for all you listeners out there, really likes the game while he's playing it, and that's great. That's what we want, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think when Jay's in it, right, when he's in the race, when he's in the office, another day at the office, he's really enjoying it. And then I think upon reflection, his opinion can alter upon reflection. So for instance,
Well, yeah,
I'll give you an
isn't that
example,
most
Jay.
people?
Well,
yeah, I feel like it is.
sometimes, but like I find that if I don't like a game, I will stop playing it,
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever been in that position
And I'm
where
not
I've
trying to
started
put-
playing a game, didn't like it, and then stopped playing it because of that necessarily.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just trying to give some context, obviously, around how when you're playing a game, I think you're very in it and you enjoy it and you're in the world and all that sort of stuff. But like Avengers, for instance, I think you really enjoyed it when you played it, and then upon reflection, I think it's not.
Well, it's a terrible game, but it was fun to play.
Okay, right, fair enough.
It didn't deliver on what it should have delivered on. Most like what like most games do nowadays, to be honest.
So with that
preface,
please, I'm very excited to hear your thoughts.
I like it a lot. I haven't played it a decent amount. I've only played it like 2 hours or so. Like I barely touched it, to be honest. It kind of has one of those things because I don't know if we've actually spoken about this necessarily, but about a week ago, before the game came out, the devs were like, by the way, it's only in 30 frames a second, 4K. So there's no like no performance mode option. It is locked 30 frames 4K, which I think has had quite an effect on people's perception of this game before and now after its release. And so sort of reviews have definitely been a little all over the place. I've seen as low as 4 but as high as like 9, so it's a bit odd, really. Wait for Nick to catch up.
You've seen a 9?
Yeah, I think so, or like an 8.9 or something. But this isn't like these are just like random people.
I'm here. I'm listening. I'll just mute myself because of the cars.
Okay. From what I've seen, I've watched a couple other people's videos sort of talking about the game this morning, and there was one that stood out to me of this guy who almost did like an essay, essentially, basically sort of comparing why the IGN review was wrong in a way, or like it was fairly hypocritical. Because a lot of the things they talk about in this review, they gave it a 5, by the way. IGN gave it a 5. They called it mediocre. A lot of the things they talk about in this review for giving it a 5, they also spoke about as being good things in like Destiny 2, and they gave Destiny I think an 8 or something. So it's sort of like a bit of a weird, like they're sort of comparing things that IGN have said before about being good points in games and giving them a high score that are now bad points in Gotham Knights and giving it a low one. So there's a little bit of something going on.
Yeah, that's a bit fishy.
Yeah.
Could you argue that, I guess, time and place, right? Like Destiny 2 came out 2017, we're now in 2022, so maybe you could argue they're a bit more fed up with it. I don't agree. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I 100% see where you're coming from. I think a lot of people, the sort of one of the biggest gripes they had was the fact that we're now in 2022, almost 2023. We're now on a new gen console, yet the game still doesn't play as well as it should do for the time. And is also maybe not necessarily made or coded for this generation. It almost feels like a previous generation game that's just been ported to the newer generation. That's kind of how a lot of people are looking at it. The one thing I will say is it probably is one of the crispest 4K games I've ever seen. Like it's super, super good looking. Like holy shit, it's good looking.
Do you think that's part of the reason for the 30 frames?
Oh yeah, no. Did you watch a Digital Foundry video on it? Probably not.
No, I didn't, mate.
Yeah, so they released one on release day, and it was very informative. It was much like the IGN one. Well, yeah, he basically just pointed out all the the usual suspects with it being 30 and actually dropping from 30 fairly frequently. One thing I will say though is it had a very similar feel to Cyberpunk when it first came out, in that it's almost a game that almost needs to like have half an hour to an hour times of like loading or like background loading, and once that loading is finished, the game feels like it's actually pretty stable. Like it doesn't really drop for most of the time you play. It only really drops for like the first half an hour you play, and then after that it's not too bad. Have you played any game like that before, where you sort of almost feel a difference after a little while?
No, I can't say I have, Jay.
You didn't even feel that was Cyberpunk or anything?
I haven't played it enough, mate, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But like, is it acceptable though?
Yes, I would definitely call it barely acceptable.
Okay.
It definitely it's annoying because I think this game could have been like the DC version of Spider-Man.
In terms of how big it is and all that sort of stuff.
Well, no, just in terms of the amount of quality it could have had. Like, imagine if Insomniac had made this game and how much better it would have been,
Yeah,
imagine a Spider-Man game that had the Bat family in it instead,
Right.
Well,
like,
I'm just saying,
and this huge world, and
I feel like Spider-Man is the thing to hit. Like that's
the new
goal.
Batman.
Well, no, the Spider-Man game is the new goal of superhero games. If your superhero game doesn't hit that level, you failed as far as I'm concerned.
100%, dude. I guess what I mean is, Arkham Asylum was that level, and Arkham City.
For the time.
And now I feel like Spider-Man's
for the time and the generation, 100%, yeah.
Yeah,
like the Arkham games, the 360 Arkham games and the One Arkham games were their superhero peak of those generations. And then we had Spider-Man completely wiped that floor clean, and it's now the new leader, and it's way ahead of the rest. I think you can play that game in 120 frames now on PS5, which is like
Christ.
It's like, gee, it's kind of insane the amount of levels you can get out of that. But I think one of the things,
and that's on console too.
Exactly,
that's crazy.
Yeah. One of the things about Gotham is that it just isn't coded very well, basically. Like there's the amount of things they have to load in the game is just taking up too much power for you to be able to get 60 frames out of it. Because even on like some of the high-end PCs, they're barely getting 60. Like they hit 60 very rarely, and we're talking about 3090s. Is that
optimization then?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Because like I assume there's not more going on in Gotham Knights than there is, say, Red Dead Redemption 2, but obviously that runs at a stable 30.
Well,
so
that's the thing. The game has ray tracing built in. Like you can't even turn it off. So I think that's part of the reason too. Is that
why would they do
that? They're forcing you to have ray tracing on.
Do you think that's because they didn't have time to make it an option? If that makes sense.
Well, I think it's because the ray tracing isn't actually making that much of a difference because I don't think they have ray tracing on the Series S, and that only barely goes slightly better. Weirdly, the S performs slightly better than the X, just because of the lack of ray tracing.
That's fucked up.
It's not by much. It's literally by like a half a frame, barely. Like it's barely
Okay.
different. So
Still
I
a
think
bit
that's
messed up,
another
though,
reason why they sort of force the ray tracing, because they'd rather it look good and play slightly worse than not.
See,
Which
yeah,
is
I'd
fine. I
rather
mean,
it
it's
play
very
better,
playable though. It's very
personally,
playable.
but
I just think it could have
so-
been so much better in 60. Like if this game had been to the same standard as what Spider-Man was, we're looking at 8 to 9s easy. Like seriously, like it's
That's
that
easy
much
to
of a
say
difference.
though, Jay, right?
Yeah, it's easy to say for now, but obviously in 2 weeks' time I'll have to give you more of an opinion on it. But...
Oh no, what I mean is like not easy for you to say per se, but what I mean is like, oh, Gotham Knights just needs to be Spider-Man. Well,
yeah, I mean,
that's a hard bar,
Any superhero thing that comes out now just needs to be Spider-Man.
Right.
Because that is like
So-
that's it. That's good. It's perfect.
I'll be
They
honest.
hit it. 10 out of 10.
When I saw the reviews come out, I wasn't that surprised. Frankly, I personally haven't seen a trailer for this game where I'm like, oh, that looks really good. Like some of them I thought looked fine, looks good. But I was a bit worried because once I saw the reviews come out and even hearing people like Greg Miller talk about it, who's a big DC fan and a fairly big Arkham fan. I was like, shit, is Jay going to hate this game? Is he going to hate the fact he's pre-ordered it? Probably not, but it sounds like...
You could never make me hate this game. There's nothing about it yet that's ever made me... Yeah, it's too much of a DC, bomb for me to not want to play it.
Sure.
So, one thing I do know about it, though, is that the max level on it currently is 30... Level 30 is the max level. But there is a new game plus that increases the level cap to 40, which allows you to then max out the skill tree. So
that's cool.
The only thing that resets on the new game plus is the story, and that's it. Everything else is the same. So all your collectibles are the same, all your gear is still there, and your level progression is still all the same.
So Jay, I'm gonna have to ask then, what's the gameplay like? Because I've heard the gameplay is not very good.
Well, I haven't had long enough with it to know, but I'm enjoying it.
How much
so
have you played
far.
it?
About
How
2
many
hours.
Okay, fine.
But I'm barely past the intro, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I've only been out once, outside of the Belfry once. So yeah, a long way to go. But I will say the achievements are definitely going to be fairly easy to do, which is fine. I'm glad about that. The one thing I'm not sure about yet, though, is that because there's 4 characters and I want to be able to play through the story as all 4, there isn't multiple saves, which worries me because I want to be able to play through. I'm hoping that there's going to be a new game plus and then plus. Like I'm hoping you're going to be able to do new game plus over and over again, just to reset the story so I can play through the story multiple times. Because at the minute you can only do it twice.
I see what you're saying.
So
with your maxed out characters.
Yeah, so what I'll have to do is I might have to play through it twice.
Pick 2. Right.
And then delete that save and then play through it twice again.
So, as in you can only max out one of the 4 then, is that right?
No, you can max out them all. So you can technically play as all 4 characters in one playthrough. But I want to be able to play through an entire big story from beginning to end with all 4 characters.
Does the story vary that much with each character?
No, I'd say the only difference is like some dialogue options or like dialogue that you get out of it. But I want to be able to, progress with each character. I don't want to like use one character, start from 1 to 30 with that character, and then go straight to 30 onto another one. I kind of want to be able to get that progression, like be able to build up towards something,
Sure.
I mean, maybe I'll feel different later on. I don't know. I've only played as Red Hood so far.
Is that your favourite?
I think he had the most interesting traversal to me. He's got like a sky jump or like a sky leap. You can basically like almost like step onto the air in midair, which is quite cool.
That's quite cool.
He's also the only ranged character. He has guns that are like non-lethal. They use non-lethal rounds. He's basically a grappler melee character that also uses guns, which I think is pretty cool.
So, in terms of characters, what's your impressions of them so far? By the way, Joe, I'm just going to warn you now. My battery seems to be going quicker than I anticipated. I'm on 18 at the moment, so I'm just giving you a heads up.
Okay, well, we'll try and make it as quick as we can, I guess.
No, it's fine. Just carry on as normal.
Yeah, no, I think they're all great. They've definitely got all their own sort of thing that they do. Batgirl is sort of like a tanky, single target DPS hacker. Robin is sort of more the stealthy elemental area of effect type character. Red Hood is sort of like a ranged grappler. And then Nightwing is just sort of like an acrobatic kind of like powerhouse, I guess, like combo heavy acrobatic powerhouse. So
what about dialogue? Because I've heard that basically, Jay, all four of them are a bit unlikable. That's what I've heard.
You know what? I actually got a little bit emotional in the intro. I was kind of like, oh, this is actually kind of grabbing me quite a lot. I'm fully in the story. I will say the dialogue is very cheesy in parts. Like it's kind of a bit like, it's not like full cringe, but it's like it's got a tinge of it, you know.
Sure.
But I'll have to get back to you on
that. Fine. And achievements list you said is good, like all achievable. That's good.
Yeah, definitely doable. I'm a bit annoyed that I might have to actually get all the killing of certain enemies done before I start my New Game Plus, because once I start that, I then can't farm those enemies anymore. So.
What period? Like they wouldn't be in the New Game Plus?
But you have to complete the game again for you to be able to do them. Some of the ones you can't do until you've completed the game, basically.
Got you. Okay, fine.
So.
And in terms of how long the game is, I've also heard, Elle told me last night, he go, oh yeah, apparently there's... Well, actually, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to...
Well, no, I know.
But so is it true that the main story is super short?
Yeah, super short.
So what the hell has this studio been doing for like 9 years then?
Well, I think if you combine main story, side story, and then all the sort of activities you can do around the map, I'd say it's like 15 to 18 hours probably.
Jay, that's so short, bro.
Yeah.
We're not getting an hour per pound there.
No, definitely not. But there was obviously this update that's coming in November that's sort of like the
free multiplayer thing.
Yeah, sort of like a multiplayer thing, which I think is supposed to be. I think it allows you to potentially get better loot maybe in the future. Like it almost feels like a lot of people are comparing this to the Avengers game, and a lot of people are saying this game should have been or was supposed to have been like the Avengers game, but for DC.
Right.
Just with these four characters.
Yeah.
But they sort of changed it at some point in the development, and it's sort of almost becoming a live service type game. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to whatever the update is, though.
Okay, fair enough. Are you a little bit bummed about the length of the game, or a supposed length, or are you?
No,
are
it actually kind of makes me excited because then I get to play through the campaign multiple times.
Yeah, fair play. Hey, would I ever do that? Absolutely fucking not. But props to you, man.
One of my favourite JRPGs of recent years. I had to play through the game 3 times, and I think each time was like roughly 15 to 18 hours again. So, and I was like, I fully enjoyed that.
Which one? FF13?
No, Trials of Mana, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to be able to get all the achievements on that, you had to play through it. I think at least 3 or 4 playthroughs.
Was that the one that we discussed on the podcast? The one
Probably.
on PS4? Is it the remake one?
Yeah, the remake one.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like almost in that kind of mode.
Is that the same Trials franchise as the new Trials game?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I could be wrong, actually.
No, well. Anyway, sorry. So look, oh man.
I think you're thinking of Tales. You're thinking of Tales.
I am.
There's Tales of and Trials of. They're slightly different.
I am. Dude, I'm so buzzed, man, because like I'm just happy that you're having a weekend of playing video games. Like, it sounds groovy, and you're playing like a new game and it's fresh. And yeah, all right, might be a bit short, but that's just exciting, isn't it? Just to play a new game for the weekend.
Then,
I
if
think
at
it's
any
exciting.
point I feel like I've run out, I've always got Persona there as well. So
Sure.
I've got something to fall back on.
You seem pretty positive about it though at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
No disappointment so far. I mean, there's some disappointment, but not enough to deter me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to discuss from Gotham Knights then?
Not really. Just I'll have to update you more when I've finished.
I think we should do a special. I
mean, we'll see how much I have to say about
it. Okay, fair enough. Shall we move on to the news, Jay? Are you happy?
Sure. Yeah, I've only got. Well, actually, you've got a lot of things to talk about, but I've only got 2. So
I can breeze through them if you want. But yeah, go on then. Hit us up.
So yeah, we're talking about Spider-Man before. Spider-Man 2 is supposedly still on track for next year.
Which I think is fair, right? Insomniac, a very consistent studio.
I'm kind of hoping it's later next year. Like around this
September,
time.
October.
Yeah. Around like a year from now, we'll probably see it. I think they didn't. Totally. I'm pretty sure the first one came out in September, years ago or whatever. So
I think you might be right there, Jay.
Yeah, I think Insomniac's window is probably in September, I'd say.
I mean,
that is going to be so fucking that's going to be the sequel from
I reckon I'm arguably, for multiple different reasons, I'm actually arguably more excited about Spider-Man 2 than I am God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean, I am definitely.
Fuck, I mean, Spider-Man 1 is incredible, dude.
It was.
So in terms of the Spider-Man 2 then, dude, so look, I don't like to pre-order, I don't like to get day one. Is this a day one game? Because this could be a day one game.
100%.
Dude.
Venom, my guy. Venom's finally going to be in it. It's going to be insane.
Oh, so exciting.
And Miles Morales is going to be there too.
Okay, any major Actually, we'll do that next year.
Yeah, we'll talk about it near the time. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some rumours here and there between now and then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And then the next thing is, I don't know if you saw this, Starfield apparently has 250,000 plus lines of dialogue, which is I think more than double or triple what Skyrim had.
Yeah, I think it's triple Skyrim, and I think it's double Fallout 4.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Which I mean, we've had this argument before about whether more is better.
Sure.
It's like a quality over quantity type thing.
Yeah.
I think that's cool though. I think it definitely opens up sort of an argument about variety. Like you're not going to get. I think it makes it a lot harder for two people to see the same thing happen in their playthrough. Because a lot of the times, a lot of people can sort of relate on their playthroughs of like Skyrim or Fallout. Like everyone gets the references. If you've played Skyrim or Fallout, everyone gets the same references. But I feel like the references might be a little harder to get in Starfield. There might be less of a through line.
Because there's so many variations.
Yeah, so many different ways of paths you can take things. Which there already are in Fallout and Skyrim, but everyone seems to hit the same ones,
Yeah, sure.
It almost feels like there's sort of like a false sense of there's so many ways to go, but everyone tends to go the same way anyway. Like there's all these different branches, but they all end up coming to the same space anyway. So.
I think your key, what's the word? Like when someone commits a murder, key perpetrator maybe? I don't know. Your key perpetrator for that, I think, is probably Telltale, where it's a choice-based game, but you would be shocked at how your choices, yes, some obviously matter a lot, but most of the time it doesn't actually matter at all, especially with dialogue.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Like you're going to get pretty much the same conclusion each time. It's just that your way of getting in there might be slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. And basically every single line's written so that they get, the AIs or the characters react and go like, "Oh, why'd you say that?" It's like any line you fucking pick, they're gonna fucking say that, But in terms of Starfield, as expected, Jay, I also think it's cool. I care more about what's the quality of that dialogue, Like how good are the lines? How good's the delivery? How good are the characters? That's my view on it.
Yeah, I mean we'll see, I guess, won't we? So wasn't the game supposed to come out this November?
Yes, sir.
But it's now coming out
We haven't got a date, but next year.
next year.
A
at
lot
some
of people,
point.
a lot
Man,
of people are
next year's gonna be
speculating they'll do a Halo Infinite and put it back a whole year, which I think will probably be good for the game, frankly.
What, so like November 2023 instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for the game too. I think it needs it.
I've got to be honest, Jay. I don't know if I've told you this, but since they've announced it, and obviously we spoke about that big reveal at E3, was it this year? I think it was this year. Where I wasn't in love with it. So now I'm actually looking at all the videos online to find out more about this game and find out if I should be as excited as maybe I should be, if that makes sense.
Yes, I understand.
Because obviously, because obviously I love Skyrim, like some of my favorite games of all time. So I am actually doing a bit more research into it and keeping an eye out on new videos and stuff that come out, because I'm not completely sold on it. Like, yes, I'm going to play it day one on Game Pass, but I'm not completely sold on it just yet. So yeah. So what about you? Are you like excited for this or?
Oh yeah, this is a day one instant.
Okay.
I'm kind of a bit concerned that whether there's going to be some sort of like special edition that you.
What
won't...
if there's not?
No, if there is going to be one, but you obviously won't be able to get the benefits of that unless you actually buy the game, rather than getting it on Game Pass.
Oh.
Like, I kind of hope what they'll do is that they'll have the Game Pass version and you can buy a cheap thing that's like all the deluxe things that come with it or something.
Some do
they've done
that, right?
before.
Like you can buy like a deluxe edition like upgrade or deluxe edition package where you just buy the things included.
They
in
did
the
it
deluxe
on
edition.
the recent Dirt game because that was on Game Pass, but you could also buy the deluxe stuff if you wanted to, while also having the Game Pass thing.
I don't know why they wouldn't do that, Jay, because they're just throwing away money, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, should we move on? My battery is running out, I'm afraid.
What are you on
10,
now?
So, 10.
But yeah, 8% in about 6 minutes, so you're almost 1% a minute here.
Okay. Well, let's just go as normal. We'll see where we get to.
Okay. So do you want me to read out your list?
Please.
Call of Duty blocked by Game Pass.
Yes. So, guys, I can't give credit because I'm not reading the news story, but basically, apparently, some documents have been raised, I believe, which is stating obviously that Microsoft initially came out and they said we're going to honor all existing agreements with Call of Duty after the AB acquisition, right? But now it's sort of coming out that, okay, that's marketing for Sony. That's Call of Duty being on the Sony platform until 2024. But now I think Sony are arguing that because it should be on the platform until 2024, it shouldn't be on Game Pass. Basically, Sony doesn't want Call of Duty on Game Pass because they're assholes and they're scared and they're whimpering, even though they shouldn't be. Well, okay, they're not shouldn't be, but Xbox has every right to do this because, frankly, PlayStation are beating their asses. So you got to give them the spending the money, get Call of Duty on Game Pass. Like, frankly, if this is true and we don't get, all right, let's forget Modern Warfare 2, the new one, because whatever. But if we don't get the old Call of Duties when this acquisition goes through, I'll be bummed out, and I think Jay will probably be bummed out too. Mm-hmm. That's a bit shit. What are your thoughts?
I feel the same way. I really want to get back into Call of Duty at some point, but I can't justify the price. I really can't.
Yeah, totally.
And
all the old ones, Jay, are still like 20 quid on the store.
Oh yeah, totally, sure. Totally. Yeah, but again, I think weirdly actually a lot of those servers are still up, so I think you'd actually still be able to play them online if you wanted to. How densely populated they are, I'm not too sure about though.
I promise you, if they all went to Game Pass, that those servers would blow through the roof.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I don't think it would have as big of an impact on PlayStation as they think it would.
No, I don't think either.
Because if you're a PlayStation fan, you will never go to Xbox. That's just not how it is. Just for Call of Duty on Game Pass, it's like, no, that's not really how that works.
No, I don't think so. And even if it is, I reckon you get a Series S and that's it.
Yeah, probably.
And you play it occasionally, or you get a PC. But yeah, I think. Do I actually think people will move consoles? Probably, because Call of Duty is such a juggernaut. But I don't know, man. It's a difficult one to.
They would have to
move
eventually, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because obviously, if they're not going to keep it cross-platform forever.
No, you assume not. So that the question.
I think that's probably the thing, then, isn't it?
But like, I think we're all speculating. You know, how much impact is that really going to have on Xbox sales and PlayStation sales? Maybe it impacts it loads, millions.
I'd say billions.
I don't know. Mental. Next up, mate.
It's gotta be. Baynetta voice actor.
Please tell me about this because I don't actually know. But
so the initial story was the original voice actor from Baynetta 1 and 2 came out and said she didn't get paid very much. She was being offered very little to voice the third game. And that they hired someone else because of that. She was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it," so they hired someone else. But then the new voice actress came out and said, you know, she kind of like defended herself a little bit, and sort of, you know, said how great the game is, even so, you know, still go buy the game kind of thing. And then it came out that the original voice actor was scheduled to get paid more than she said she was going to, but it was still like a fairly small amount, I guess.
Right. Okay.
So she kind of lied about her initial statement, basically.
So,
and everyone berated the creator of Baynetta and the lead dev on the game until he basically got removed from Twitter, essentially. So
he got removed from Twitter.
Yeah, his account got so many reports that it got sort of like suspended or whatever.
Well, that's not good, is it?
No. So everyone's being like, we should probably apologise to this guy because he got berated for telling the truth, essentially.
Right. Okay. In that case, anyone who is listening, I really doubt anyone listening to this would do that. But if you did, don't fucking do that.
Yeah, don't berate people. That's just, treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. We've got way too much online stuff going on. People need to get off the phone, get off Twitter, in my opinion. But
sure.
That's that. J-Balls, what's next?
Silent Hill 2 Remake. There was a showcase for both Silent Hill and Resident Evil as well in the last couple of days. But you want to talk about this? I'm very surprised.
Dude. I'm surprised you didn't.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of like a hovering fan of the Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. Like, I appreciate them massively, and I'd much rather watch Maximilian play them because I know how much of a fan he is. So I get my enjoyment of the games from him, from his enjoyment.
I get that.
I'd never play them, but I'd love to experience it with him on stream. So
I totally get that. I'm too much of a scaredy cat myself, so yeah, I do the same thing as you.
Not necessarily about being scared. It's just that I don't know. I don't want that experience. Like, I'd rather have someone else do it for me.
Oh no, yeah. I was just saying that I'm scared. That's all.
Sure.
Not that you're scared, but yeah, I agree. Yeah. I would like to watch someone else do it. But I wanted to bring this up because obviously there was a lot of Silent Hill announcements. Most of them I don't care about, but I did watch the Silent Hill 2 remake trailer yesterday, and I actually thought it looked really, really good. So I'm hoping it'll be good, and maybe we'll get like a bit like Resident Evil 7, a bit like Resident Evil 8. Maybe we'll get a couple of months of really cool content out of that game, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
people streaming it and stuff.
Yeah,
and I know it's obviously very looked forward to from a lot of people, and spooky season is very much upon us.
So that was it, really. It was definitely a good thing for that. Yeah.
Yeah. How embellished do you get in Halloween hype and stuff, Jay?
I like it. I think it's cool to just be in it and not necessarily go crazy. Again, it's more of a like observing what other people do and just enjoying that.
Sure. So you don't purposefully like watch any horror films or play any horror games or anything like that?
Not really. No. I feel like I'm almost in the Halloween mood all year round.
Fair play.
Kind of.
What's up next, mate?
New Tales from the Borderlands. You want to talk about that?
Yes, just very briefly. So the second Tales from the Borderlands game has come out, called New Tales from the Borderlands. Developed, I believe, internally by Gearbox, who make the core Borderlands games, but obviously Telltale made the original. Telltale are kind of back, but kind of not. It's all rather very obscure, and we don't know anything just yet until a game comes out, and then maybe it's real. So we're gonna put that on hold. But this game came out. The reviews were middling. I really like the original Tales from the Borderlands, and frankly, I would have been more than happy to play this game. Even got it on offer. I think because of the reviews, it's going to be a wait till on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or whatever. And I think also even then, I'm not even sure I would play through it because I have got a bad taste in my mouth following Wonderlands. Not the actual game, I enjoyed the game, but the season pass stuff was awful, like truly awful. So I have got a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. And also, I think we both adored Borderlands 3. I mean, I loved Borderlands 3. You know, like
it probably
some of the
is the best
bits,
Borderlands, to be honest.
some of the story bits maybe weren't quite, as quippy or as funny as Borderlands 2, say, in the writing, but the overall gaming experience. And Jay, that post-launch support for Borderlands 3 was just incredible.
Yeah, it's the best we've seen yet, 100%, yeah.
The patches, the seasonal updates, the actual DLC, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, they were amazing, yeah.
So that was great. So I think just to bring it up, obviously that it's out. It doesn't seem to be making much waves, which is a bit
I didn't even know it was out. I didn't think it was coming out for another couple of months. I was like, oh, okay, maybe next year. I had no idea.
The marketing has been a bit weird for it, but yeah, as I say, if it's free, maybe I'll give it a go. But I'm not holding my breath. That's all.
Okay. And then lastly, Scarlet and Violet news. They've changed the way that you interact with trainers. So you know how you used to walk along and then you'd have to walk past a trainer and you'd have to battle them?
Yeah.
Because it's an open world game, they've now made it so that you can actually, if you want to battle one of those trainers, you have to interact with them yourselves. So you have to go up to them and talk to them if you actually want to battle them, which I think is quite a good thing.
That sounds like a massive change, dude.
It's a great one because it now doesn't feel like you're stuck in that area.
Right.
Like there's some people who probably maybe younger kids who maybe couldn't get past a certain trainer, so just gave up in the previous iterations, but now that's not really a thing. You can kind of go off and level up and come back.
I guess the thinking there though is that let's say you do skip a few trainers, I assume your Pokemon would be too weak to get
so
some of those.
You kind of have to come back and battle them anyway. I don't know. It's a small change, but it's a interesting one. I'll have to kind of see how that goes, honestly.
Yeah,
one of those ones we don't really know how it's going to affect things until we experience it, I don't think.
Well, it sounds like they're changing the design of the game, which is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of innovation. As much as people want to shit on Pokemon for it just being the same game from 20 years ago, they've changed a hell of a lot of things, and they're deliberately making changes to, make it seem different, or, maybe improve quality, or whatever it might be.
Definitely.
That's coming out in less than a month. So I think it's like 27, 26 days. Might even be less than that. I don't know.
Wow, we're getting there, Jay.
I'm off for a week. I'm back at work for 3 weeks, and then I'm off for another week to play Pokemon.
Nice.
So good times. And then I'm back at work for 3 weeks again, and then we have Christmas. So I've got to decide what I want to play over Christmas as well.
Dude, you've got 6 weeks left and you're done.
Yeah, basically I've got 6 weeks, and then I'm off for Christmas. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Good times. End of the year is always my favourite time of the year. The last 3 months are just the best.
I think I can relate to that. I think.
Yeah.
So, J-Balls, anything else we need to discuss before my phone runs out?
I think that's it. We didn't really have much to go over anyway. We're just sort of in a bit of the bridge right now. Oh no! I think it died. Wow. Well, there we have it, folks. I'm not going to be able to get in contact with him for a while, so I'm going to have to stop the recording, I think.